like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for Love After Lockup. This is season 1, episode 6. And I'm pissed off because next week is the season finale. I'm like, only seven episodes? What the fuck, WeTV? Now, I do see it's going to probably be a season 2 because on each episode, I keep seeing on the end how they say, are you in a relationship with somebody in prison and they're going to get out pretty soon? If you are, give us a call. So I'm like, they gearing up for season 2. And I think it's because they saw how much of a success this season was. I think they probably, I done got all started and stuff. I didn't say I hope y'all had a great day and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up late reviewing stuff because I'm going to be gone tomorrow watching the Black Panther, hanging out with my nephew who can't wait to see Black Panther and everything. I think I am reviewing Black Panther, and I'm going to probably record a little bit of us getting dressed and stuff. We're wearing all black. You know what I'm saying? And us going how he kind of feels too, because he's only 11. So, yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great Friday. It's going to have a great Saturday and everything. So, but yeah, back to it. But yeah, I don't think they thought that it would be such a big hit. And I have to admit, I heard about the show, did not watch it. I think when it was like episode 4 is when someone was like, oh, you should watch it. And I only did because we had a damn snowstorm. And as y'all know, I talked about it earlier in other reviews. We had a snowstorm and I was stuck in the house for a couple of days. I'm like, well, let me watch this stupid ass show and see what it's about. And Jesus, I loved it, okay? It is the most ratchet, beautiful, horrible mess of a beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So I can't wait to see the next episode and see how they kind of wrap things up, if they can wrap things up, and then how it will come back next season. I'm willing to bet they probably already shooting stuff now. So I give it a good 6 to 8 months. And it's gonna be back. So yeah, I'm very excited. So the episode starts. Well, the episode didn't start off with, but I did people in certain orders based on how long of a story it was. James and Isla. James. First of all, I still feel like James have crazy eyes and like he might murder somebody, and I need them to put him on the FBI watch list. That's first and foremost. He goes out and he's hanging out with his boy Chris. Chris is the kind of friend you need. I feel like Chris and James is the white version of Get Out, and Chris is the best friend saying run and flashing the lights and stuff. That's what Chris is. And James is just all confused and getting duped by this little white girl who is just so wonderful. And I'll do anything for you, baby. And he's confused. He's stuck in the white sunken place because he just does not see Isla ass is on drugs, and she only been out of jail a couple days, maybe even a week. Who knows? So Chris is saying how because James was saying, I had set up an appointment for her and she didn't go to this appointment, and then she was saying that she wasn't feeling good, that she was sick, and and we kind of been arguing a little bit, and Chris like, look, maybe she back on drugs, she was in prison for drugs, and she's fresh out, I'm just trying to be realistic. And I'm like, thank you. She is completely on drugs solely because she looks and is acting completely different from how she did on the first episode. We saw her on the first episode. She was like real normal. Like she was real normal. And then she just flipped and she looks paranoid. Her eyes are always dilated and she looks high. But, we see is James is saying like he's never dealt with anyone who was addicted to drugs. And if you've never dealt with someone who has been addicted to anything, whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever, well, at least drugs and alcohol, you can't tell when they're under the influence. And for him, it's even harder because think about it. She's been in prison all these years. So it isn't as if he's been around her personally enough to know she acting different. For him, this is just her. and he don't get it. But I'm like, hell, I don't know the girl either. And even I knew that she was acting different from day 1 to day 5. Come on now. He just didn't see it. Again, he's in the goddamn white sunken place. And James kind of got mad at Chris. And Chris is like, if you ask me, I think she's absolutely back on drugs. At this point, well, James had already left or whatever. He would have sent it to the producers or whatever. Everyone thinks she's back on drugs except for James. So James is like, I think, she has this light within her, she's just lightless, this light or whatever. And I feel like if she was on drugs, I would know because that light would have went out. You didn't see her damn light out at the goddamn gas station and at the restaurant. I could tell that her light was going out. I can tell that she was as dark as my goddamn apartment was yesterday when all the lights went out because we had no power. Okay, she had a whole full-fledged power outage in herself and he didn't even notice it. He thinking she still has light. Where, James? Ain't no light within her. And I'm not saying that. I think he thinking when a person's on drugs, they are this deep, dark, depressed person and they look like a crackhead. No, she was a functioning heroin or meth addict. And she hasn't hit rock bottom yet. So sometimes when a person's on drugs, they don't look like a demon. They don't look like they just, oh my God, they're about to die. They don't look like that. She looked like herself, but she looked not like herself at the same goddamn time. He doesn't want to admit to it, but it is what it is. So he then said, she was using drugs. We have to have a conversation to where she has to know that, she can't do that. Like that's my one thing that I'm not gonna tolerate. And if she's back on drugs or if she takes drugs, I'm gonna have to cut her out of my life. Are you, James? Because pan to the next episode of him driving home, he calling her and she not answering. He then get home, he like, hey babe, Isla, are you here? And we hear her ass, she's in the bathroom, the door's closed, and you just hear her breathing heavy. And I'm like, well, she's either in there having sex, she's in there masturbating, or she in her ODing. One of the three. It can go either way. And he go in the bathroom. Now, they never show her in the bathroom, but you can hear based on her mic and his mic. And he like, what's going on? Are you okay? Do I need to call 911? And he, in his confession, he said, I went in the bathroom and it was so hard to see someone you love, the person you love, and they're in pain and you can't help them. He says, and as I was looking at her, I realized that I was seeing her relapse. You think, James? And then the camera, like, cut the cameras, and it goes off. But I'm like, well, that's, gonna leave us hanging? Well, okay. So that's what it was for them. Next, Mary and Dominic. Mary is saying how, oh my God, I made this appointment to look at wedding dresses months ago, and even though me and Dominic are kind of mad at each other, I'm going to still go and try on wedding dresses. Let me say something. I think Mary is delusional simply because she is so focused on getting married that she does not realize he doesn't want to get married. And I'm not saying that he doesn't want to marry her. What I'm saying is he has so much going on right now, he can't handle a wedding. He barely handling what he has to do on a daily basis. So he not acting like that because he does not love her and does not want to be with her. He's like, I have so much shit going on right now. I can't focus on planning no big ass wedding. Do you not get that? And she don't get that. It is what it is. But she go and she try on some dresses. Some of them was cute. I still think she batshit crazy. She's saying how, talking to her friends, saying how, he wants to wait. I don't want to wait. He wants to wait about a year. The friends saying like, what if you wait a year and then he doesn't marry you? Like, what are you going to do then? You've been waiting all these years already. Then to just wait another year and you don't get married. I don't get why people don't understand why people out of prison sometimes like, can I breathe for a second? Like, these people ain't been in jail for like 30 days. They haven't been in jail for like 6 months. They have been in jail for years, literally years. Okay, he did 6 years in prison. 6 years in prison. And when you do that much time in prison, you ain't the same when you get out. And we don't know what that man went through in prison. We don't know if he got raped, beaten up, if he saw other people raped and beaten up. We don't know what he went through. So his whole mind is off. You know how hard it has to be to survive in prison for 6 years? I I won't ever find out, okay? Because I ain't going to jail ever. And I think she just forgets he's not even out of prison. He's in the halfway house. It's still prison. Still from a prison. So, you need to kind of just think about that and realize that it's still prison. We then see how she's saying, well, he's the love of my life. He has all this stuff going on. So, whatever he needs me to do and whatever he needs me to do to help him, I'm willing to do that. Well, you think you should have said that before. That's what you should have said when he first got out. You said, girl, bye. So we then see it's like he's been out for 2 weeks. She's at home. He comes over, he pops up with flowers. I'm like, who bought them flowers? You got no money. And, he comes to her apartment and he kind of just apologizes for them fighting. And, they kind of sit down and had to have a conversation. She's like, you were just different before prison. You were fine. You just free spirited. You're just different now. Bitch, he was in prison. He didn't go to, he damn near went to war in a way. Because he was fighting for his goddamn own life. And when I say there are three things that changes people. Going to war, literally. Going to prison. And the death of a parent, a sibling, or a child. Those three things, a parent, a sibling, a child, or a spouse. Those three things completely changes a person. And anyone who don't realize that changes a person is batshit crazy in my particular eyes. It is what it is. He says like, jail changes everything. You don't get it because you have not been through it. It's the equivalent of, my father passed away 3 years ago, and I was talking to someone at work, and I was like, yeah, the 3-year anniversary is coming up on the 15th of February, and I think I'm going to take that day off work because I always feel real sad on that day or whatever, and it's just different. It's just something that's different. And they said, well, I think people say that and they do that just to make themselves sad. And I said to her, it's because you haven't been through it. So you don't get it. So sometimes a person who has not been to jail won't get why someone feels a certain kind of way about something because they have not been through it before. And, he's like, before jumping into all this stuff, I just kind of want to get my life together and get back on track. Because all he said was, I want to get out the halfway house and get myself a little bit stable. If you've waited 6 years while he was in prison, why can't you give him a year to get himself together once he's out? Why? Can't. Okay. Also, and I paused as if y'all gonna say something back to me. That'd be funny. He says how, I still love you and I still want to marry you. I just can't handle planning this big wedding. I can't handle that right now. It's just too much. And she's like, well, I'm happy to know that. I thought you didn't want to be with me anymore. He's like, no, that's not what it is at all. I just can't handle trying to plan this big old wedding. And he said, we can do a small wedding if you want. And, that makes her happy. She kisses him and they have sex. It was what it was. So, yeah. Scott and Lizzie. Lizzie, you know what I'm saying? The pimping, drug dealer in the prison. She was pimping a man. She was having a man trick off money on her, and she's a goddamn on drug lord in prison. And I'm like, she is really on, girl, Lord Jesus. So we see Scott is at home, and he's upset. He's in his yard and he's cutting up the bushes or whatever. His friend pops up. His friend. Her name is Charlene. No, that's not it. Is it Doreen? Who had this song? It's a country song. Is it Doreen or is it Charlene? I need to find out because that song is stuck in my head for some reason, and it's stuck in my head in Dolly Parton's voice, and I think that's her song. It's Jolene. I'm sorry, y'all know I be going off topic sometimes. Anyway, she there, and he's telling her how Lizzie got caught with drugs and a cell phone, and she's like, wow. Oh, that's a lot, She then say, you probably paid for it, right? I'm like, what kind of friend? Well, that's something else I say to my friends, too. So she kind of being paid, like, the money that you kept sending her and giving her, you paid for them drugs. And, he was like, what, you're probably right. And then she said, well, maybe you didn't send her enough money, and that's why she had the drugs. That's true, because if you didn't send her enough money, then she had to sell drugs. And he's coming to the conclusion that he probably did pay for them. saying that the money that he gave her was used to either buy the drugs or to get something to exchange for the drugs. And he's like, so in one way or another, he feels responsible for it. And she's like, how about y'all just try to have a relationship without you sending her money, like without it being financial. See how it goes from there. Because if y'all really love each other, she should be okay with you not giving her money because you gave her some money and she went and bought drugs with it. So she should do that and then see how it goes. And he's saying how, well, I already got her a lawyer. And she's like, I figured you would or whatever. And he said, but the thing about the lawyer will cost, $14,000. Look, there's a lot of things I am willing to pay for if I am in a loving, committed relationship with a person who's outside of prison. There's a lot I'm willing to do. Okay, there's a lot that you do for a person that you really love and care for. However, the one thing I'm not going to do is, one, date someone in prison for 2 years that I didn't know before they went to prison. Secondly, I'm not going to spend $14,000 on a fucking lawyer. And not to even sound judgmental, but he don't look like he can afford 14 grand for a lawyer. He does not. And I think going into credit card debt, trying to pay for a lawyer for a convict who you've never seen outside the dang on walls of the prison is stupid. Okay, it's stupid. And Scott is stupid. And the friend is like, well, look, maybe this is your chance to kind of slowly back away, take some time, get some space in between you guys so that you can get yourselves together. And he's saying well, I don't want to take a step back. That'll be wrong. And, I would feel bad for abandoning her. The friend you know what? You're dumb. I'm going home. And then she leaves. He is like, I've spent so much time getting to know her. I just don't want to let her go and let her down. Bruh, she's finna do 12 years. She's going to do some time. Period. And the amount of time it's going to take her to get out of jail and the amount of money you're going to spend on her while she's in jail, you can have bought 15 prostitutes and did all kind of things. You could buy a wife for $800. Well, not 800, but you can do things with people on the out. You don't have to settle for this person, but he don't get it. So hey, Scott is stupid. It is what it is. Garrett and Joanna. I still think Garrett is cute. I do. You know what I'm saying? But I want him to shave that goddamn beard. I think he looks better with at least not as much mountain man, hair. But he's a little cute little thing or whatnot. Joanna is meeting with her dad to tell him that she's finally engaged. And I don't know why she's going to tell her dad. Her dad is going to be pissed off. So she's like, Dad, they walk through the park. She's like, I'm engaged. And he was like, oh, okay. So you're engaged, Okay. He just got released from prison. Y'all are engaged. Okay. Just stay engaged. It doesn't have to go any further from that. And she's like, well, no, we're going to get married. And he's like, God damn it. You're always wanting things your way. You don't really get you don't want to, you're always rushing things. You can't just wait and be patient. Which is absolutely true. Because she was rushing Garrett to propose to her. And, her dad said something I thought was very smart. He said, live with him, be with him. Y'all can be a couple. Give him some time to breathe and see if y'all are compatible. That is the best advice a father can give his daughter when he know for a fact she not going to break up with the dude. So he said, look, I'm not even saying don't be with him. I'm just saying don't marry him right now. Make sure that y'all compatible. And I think that's a sane thing to do. But we know Joanna kind of batshit crazy. And, he's like, this is real life. Just take some time. Stop rushing it. And then she said, well, Dad, I just want you to, walk me down the aisle. This fool said, look, I'm not going to walk you down the aisle every 2 years. I said, every 2 years? It makes me wonder, has she been engaged or married before and things didn't work out because she was rushing things? And he I'm not going to keep going through this bullshit with you because you be rushing shit around and you calm your ass down. And he kind of get pissed and say, look, for all you know, he proposed to you just to shut you up so that you would stop asking him to propose and he can want to just ride this train on out because you've been there for him, all the time in prison. She's like, now why don't you say that, Dad? And he said, well, goddamn, it's probably the truth, but I'm just bringing up things. So then he gets pissed off and he's like, well, whatever, I don't care. She then go right from visiting her dad to Gary's job. When when your girlfriend pop up to your job to ask you some questions, first of all, she don't respect you because she could damn near get your ass fired because she has a question to ask you. I'm so sorry. Girl, ask him at home. Okay, you don't have to go to that man's job to stop him from working to ask him a goddamn question. Ask that man at home. So, she's like, oh, hey, babe, can I talk to you real quick? And he's like, oh, okay. I got about 5 minutes. Fine. And, they go out back, and then she's like, I talked to my dad, and he was in A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And she gives a rundown of what her dad said. And she's like, so I'm wondering, if, oh my God, my arm. Yeah, I know my arm got messed up, so yeah. So she's like, my dad said this, and I'm just wondering if there's any truth to it. She's like, so, why did you propose to me? And I said, well, bitch, because you forced him to. Because you made him. Because you kept saying to him, you've been out of jail for 3 days and you haven't proposed. You've been out of jail for 3 days and 72 minutes and 14 seconds. And you've been out of jail for all this time, bought a car. You kept saying to him, you haven't proposed. You made him propose. Because my thing is, if he told you, yes, I love you, I want to be with you, I'm going to propose in due time, give me some time, he would not propose as fast. I think he would have took his time a little bit more and proposed whenever. But because you kept stalking him, he said, let me propose so she can shut the fuck up. But he lied, And when I say he lied, I'm not saying that he's not telling the whole truth. What I'm saying is when he said, I'm sorry, excuse me, because I love you, girl, and I want to marry you, I want to be with you. I'm not saying it's a full-fledged lie. What I'm saying is he said what he wanted. He said what she wanted to hear. And I think he meant it, but I also think he couldn't say nothing else. He couldn't say, well, because you asked me to marry you. Because you asked me to propose. Yeah. Point blank, period. She then say, well, are you really ready for marriage? Like, are you really ready for that? And he's like, of course I'm ready, girl. You're not ready because you said in the beginning that you wanted to get yourself together, get you a stable job, save up some money, get a car and do a few other things before getting engaged. You did it anyway. Even when they was at like a little cake tasting, it was like a little snippet of the cake tasting, and he said he proposed to get her off his back, thinking it would give him some time, and not all she concerned with is planning a goddamn wedding. So we know for a fact that you proposed to her to make her shut up, and then she's now rushing it, but now she's also questioning it. So she then says like, well, I do want to marry you, but I also want my dad's support. This fool say, well, is that just as important as marrying me? And then she says, no, bitch. Look, y'all crazy. I just can't. I was just like, did she just say to her? And my thing is, I'm not saying that a person should put their parent over their spouse, but you don't know that man well enough to put him over your daddy. You don't. It is what it is. He then says, well, we can elope if you want to. She said, I don't want to elope. No, I want to have a real wedding with people that sees it and everything, and I want us to have a good time. And he said, oh, so you want to have a big show? And she said, yeah. And he said, well, okay. And so that's the end of that. It is what it is. Okay. Last but definitely not least, Lamar and Andrea. We all know Andrea fuck that man at that hotel in California when we got out of prison. We all know that she is head over heels because she had sex with this man who hadn't had sex in 18 years. And we don't know when was the last time she had sex. Because she keeps saying she's Mormon and they can't have sex before marriage. But she got 3 kids by 2 different men. So that's neither here nor there. We see Andrea wedding dress shopping, basically. It's her 2 daughters, and her friend. And, she's saying how she wants to figure out how her and Lamar can be together, considering the fact that he lives in, a different state. And I thought to myself, the same way y'all been together for these past 6 years, his ass is in prison. You was living in Utah, he lived in California. If y'all were together while he was in prison, what's the big deal now? I mean, He can't leave California yet. What is the big deal? But you know, what is it is what it is. You know, her daughter is saying how for her it's weird seeing her mother buy a wedding dress or be in a wedding dress because it means that she's really trying to marry this strange ass man. Stranger danger. And you know, we like, okay. So then we see Lamar Skype her and he all, oh my God, I'm Skyping you. I couldn't do this in prison. It's a lot you couldn't do in prison. We're not gonna keep talking about that, Lamar. Leave it alone. He then said, you know, couldn't talk, whatever. He lets her know, hey, I can't come to Utah. My probation officer or my parole officer won't approve me to travel like that. You know, if you want to see me, you have to come to California because I can't leave, not even for a couple of weeks. Like, I can't leave for like a couple of months. And then she's like, what? I can't believe that. Are you just saying that so that I have to come to LA? Are you saying that just because you don't want to come to Utah? Like, are you lying? And he's like, of course I wouldn't lie about that. He's like, no. He's like, if I come to Utah, I'm going to go back to jail. He's like, you don't want me to go back to jail, do you? Why would you? Of course not. He got her digmatized, and you can't tell me different. Just because I ain't traveling all them hours to get no dick. I'm just not. It's just too much dick here in my city, in my state. I'm straight. And, oh, that's not nice. So, he then says, you know, well, can you and the kids come to LA for the weekend, and that way I can get the kids here in LA. And she was like, oh my God, you know, this is so much to pop up on me, and I don't know what we gonna do. Honey, the next thing we see is her and the kids sitting on the dinner, and she let them know, hey, we're going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive to LA so you guys can see Lamar. And they was like, the fuck? What? Why? She said, well, his parole officer won't let this. It's just, this is just too much to be putting my kids through. I just can't. It is 3:45 in the morning. This is crazy. But that's just too much for me to think to put my children to say we're going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get on the road to drive 9 hours to California so that you can meet this man that I've been talking to who's in prison, who I want to marry. The kids ain't happy. At least the two older ones. That's like 12 and 15. You know, the boy and the girl. She keeps like, you have to meet your stepfather. You know, he's been in prison for over 15 years, so he can't, you know, there's certain things. First of all, stop saying he's been in prison over 15 years. He's been in prison for 18 years. We know the amount. You keep saying over 15, and I don't know why, as if we don't know how long he's been in there. And I'm just like, the fuck, lady? I just, you know, her son is saying how, you know, he doesn't hate him, but he just doesn't know Lamar. So for him, it's weird to, you know, be around someone who he does not know. And not only that, he's been in prison. We then find out her 5-year-old daughter, who's the youngest, calls Lamar Papa and Dad. Why, you ask? Because she does not know her real father. And she says Lamar is the only father that she's known, that she's talked to over the phone, and Lamar would send her letters and stuff like that. You done made your prison pen pal your youngest daughter's daddy. You got your 5-year-old daughter calling that man Papa. Bitch. This is how I know Andrea is batshit crazy. My thing is, you got your 5-year-old daughter calling this strange man who she has never met in person, who was not her father, Papa and Dad. Cause she says, don't you want to go see Papa in LA? Papa. I'm looking like she called this nigga Papa. I can't deal with it. I can't do it. You know, the oldest daughter, cause she said that, I guess the two oldest ones, you know, do know their dad, but the youngest one does not. The older daughter is not happy to go at all. Andrea said how, you know, it's hard being a single parent, and, you know, I'm happy to finally have some help with y'all, and, you know, your sister will have a dad, y'all will too if y'all accept him. I would have been like, that motherfucker ain't gonna be my daddy. You know what I'm saying? He not my daddy. And I feel like Andrea's wrong for trying to force Lamar on them so fast and so soon. And I mean that because even though she's been dating this man for 6 years, her kids don't know that man. And he is the equivalent of a fucking stranger to them. Even if she feel like she know him, her kids don't know them. And if your daughter is 12, that means she was 6 when you and that man started talking, and her son's 15, so he was 9. They don't know that man like that. And now that they're older, it's probably even worse, because I'm pretty sure when they were younger, you probably wasn't trying to have them talk to him because they have a father in their life, as she said. And you're trying to force He's going to be a father figure. He's going to be a stepfather. And I think it takes more than marrying a man to make him a part of the family. You have to let the kids get time to get to know him. And they haven't done that. And she doesn't see that. So she's like, yeah, once we all are together, we'll be a family. Honey, both the older kids said, meeting him won't make us family. Like, meeting him will not mean that our family is complete. We have to get to know him. And I think that is what Andrea is forgetting. And that is what she just like kind of let go of her head. And I feel like, again, she's trying to force them to accept him because she accepts him. And because she's talked to him on the phone 1,000 times or however many times that she's went to visit him in prison. She done fucked that man in that hotel room in LA. And now she wants them to act like that's their daddy. And I don't feel like that's fair. I feel like when you are a parent, you're supposed to give your child time to bond with that person. And the first time your child even meet the person you dating, they don't really bond like that. You let them say hi. They might, and that's really it. Hi, this is so-and-so, say hello, and then that's it. You don't try to say, hey, this is my new boyfriend. Oh, and he gonna be your daddy. No, it's how it go. And I'm like, the daughter says that she feels like mom misses him, so she's just forcing us to go to LA so that she can see him. She want to have sex again. That's what it is, girl. Mm-hmm. So they in LA. The daughter is not happy. They're lost, driving around. She's saying like, I'm not gonna talk to him. I'm not dealing with him at all. Andrea like, well, call him. I need you to call him because we lost. She says, I'm not calling him. Have my brother call. I'm not calling him. So the brother has to call. They finally find out where he is. And honey, the daughter don't even got the car. She's like, I'm sitting in the car. No, I'm not talking to him. He walk up and say, hey, I think her name was Kira. And then what I didn't like was she wasn't talking to him. And she was in the front seat. And then he walked up to the front, to the passenger side door. And then he saw she wasn't talking. And he moved her hair out her face and said, you ain't talking to me? First of all, you're my personal space. Second of all, if I was Andrea, I would have said, nah, give her space. Like, don't go in my daughter's personal, because she don't know you. She don't know you yet. And I felt like him just coming, for me, it felt a little bit, too much too soon. You know what I'm saying? For me, it would have made me feel uncomfortable too, and I'm an adult. So Lamar said how he's also nervous about meeting the kids because he don't know if they'll like him. The little girl who called him, hey, Papa, she ran up to him, gave him a hug. The son, shook his hand or whatever. The daughter, like, I ain't got the car. Honey, Andrea said, I'll give you $20 if you got the car. And just talk to him. She said, you gonna bribe me now? All right, I'll give you $40. And she was like, no. So Andrea finally said, we don't leave her in the car. Let her stay there. She can sleep there. Again, you pissed off because your daughter don't accept a man that she don't know. You should be happy she don't want to talk to this man that she don't know. Why? Because she don't know him and this goddamn stranger danger. So, they go in the house or whatever, and we see Andrea ask the son to go talk to the daughter. And he's like, look. The daughter say, I don't like being around mom when all she talks about is him. It just gets frustrating. I don't know him. I don't want to talk about him all the time. And the son just says, look, you don't have to talk to him. Just come in, just be there, but just don't have to talk to him. It's fine. So, she do come down. It's awkward as hell because one, he has a bedroom in his brother's house. It's like downstairs, and it's it's a small little room or whatever, and ain't nothing in there but like a chair and like a crate or whatever. So Andrea, the little girl that's 5, and Lamar is sitting on the bed, and then the other two was like sitting up against the wall, and it was just awkward. It really was. They didn't know what to say to him. He was laying on the bed. It was just, I don't know. Something about it just, for me, felt weird. And like, I would have felt extremely uncomfortable if I was 12 years old in a new state with this man who was in prison, who my mama liked, and I have to be nice to him. And I had never seen him before. And the son even said how, I just don't know him, and he's been in prison, so I'm also scared for my mom's safety. Like, I don't know what he could do to her. That's a logical 15-year-old son's response to the strange man around his mama. And it was just crazy. They did ask him what he did to go to jail, if he was in a gang before, if he sold drugs. And I'm looking like, this is getting crazy. So Andrea and Lamar end up like going outside to like hug or whatever. And Andrea like, I think the kids and Lamar are like slowly getting to know each other. No, they're not. You're lying. They're not at all. And she's saying how she felt like she needs to hurry up and marry him so they can become a family. The whole Andrea is bad. Girl, bye. She's so goddamn crazy. I think the reason I am not happy about the next episode being the season finale, because I can imagine how they're gonna wrap up this story in one episode. Like, I just can't. It's just crazy. But that was the whole episode. I think Andrea is the most batshit crazy, simply because she has children. It's one thing if you dating a man and you by yourself and it's just you and you want to fall in love with a prisoner. That's whatever. But you're bringing 3 kids along for the ride, and you bringing 2 teenage kids basically, and then the 5-year-old who's calling this man Papa. I can't. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Put your comments below about how you feel about the episode, and peace.